How y'all doing? Good.
How's it going, Darius? The interception on Saturday, it seems like that's kind of been a string of those where it's either the first defensive possession of the game or you just are making the big play when you need to. Just how would you describe your mentality, on some of the, especially for the first possession of a game?
I'll say mentality-wise, Coach Beamer emphasized it. Kentucky, we haven't forced any fumbles. First play, get a fumble. Emphasize those guys haven't thrown many interceptions all season, and we get one on the first series. So I'll say mentality-wise, it's all about just going out there and just making plays. You want to be that guy that just goes out there and just be a momentum changer, and that's what that was, and it led to a touchdown on the next drive for the offense.
Darius, just how would you kind of evaluate the season you're having and how you fit into what's been kind of a banged-up secondary?
The season that we're having, I mean, just going week by week, honestly. With our record, it shows positive record. So, I mean, we're doing good things. Secondary-wise, I mean, it's a part of the game. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have people that get banged up. So, but it's always a next man up mentality, whether that's, like in this emphasis, when RJ went down at the beginning of the season, we had to start Nick, a true freshman. It's always a next man up mentality. So I'll say with the bang up secondary, the guys that we're developing now, we're not worried about anything because we know those guys are gonna do what they can to help this team the best they can.
Hey Darius, with the amount of injuries that you guys have had, I know you rotated through a lot of guys at Vanderbilt. Just kind of what kind of a challenge is it to have so many different, guys in the secondary rotating through during a single game like that?
I would say in a game like that, it starts to get crunch time. You got some guys that just got to step up. It's like OD, for instance. He hasn't taken many reps, but come in, get a strip fumble, and then get an interception to seal the game. So it's just the games like that where you do have these injuries. You just got to have your guys that you're developing throughout the season, and they come in and make plays like that. It's all about preparation. So for him to just come out there and did what he did, help us win that game, it was more of from a preparation standpoint. And like I said, just a next man up mentality when Cam goes down and he has to come in and play. So
thinking back to last year's Vanderbilt game and leading up to this year's game, how for you individually, how much did you want to kind of atone for the way things went last year?
I was waiting on this one. I'll say it was personal. Last year, I was like one of my worst games. I say to myself, like, that was a game I had circled. I was like, all right, this is like a revenge tour, man. I got to get this game back. But personally, that was for me just to go out there and have a better performance than I did last year. But the main goal was to get a win for the team, and that's what we did. So still rolling, 14 years straight now. So.
How and I guess for this week coming up, and I know you guys take it one week at a time, but how excited are you to start this week and looking ahead to the next 3 games that are left on the schedule as well?
Taking so Florida, good team. We beat them last year, but each week is a new week, each season is a new season. So they're a good team. They're trying to get bowl eligible now. I think they're sitting at 5 wins. So going in there, they got the mentality of trying to get to that 6th win for those guys, but we just can't go in there expecting to just beat them. We have to go out there and just act, and we have to play. Great quarterback, similar to Arkansas's quarterback. He can run the ball, big physical guy. So that'll be something that we have to worry about those guys. And then their passing game. They got good receivers, and they want to throw the ball deep, and they also want to run it. So I'll say for the most part, this week we just got to go out there and just compete.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the same thing that Hal just asked. Have you seen a lot of film of Florida so far and of Richardson, and what specifically can makes Richardson such a special weapon for them?
Weapon for them, it'll be his feet. He's a guy that can throw the ball, and that's one thing you got to worry about with him. But also running the ball. He can, when anything breaks down and gets out the pocket, he wants to run it. So I'll say eliminating that run game for him, keeping him contained, is something that'll help us, and also just stopping the run. and eliminating explosive plays will be a key to this game right here.
You talked about how much that Vandy win meant to you, but for the team as well, locking up that bowl eligibility, have you found it made breakfast taste a little sweeter going into this week?
Oh, it definitely tastes sweeter, man. But I mean, we're not satisfied with just getting bowl eligible. We still got 3 games, and we want to win take it week by week. So being bowl eligible is a great thing, but can't be satisfied with just 6 wins. So with these next 3 games, like I said, taking it week by week, we got Florida. Worrying about Florida to get this win, and then we'll worry about Tennessee and Clemson later.
Darius, yeah, week by week. Have you ever heard any fans or anybody refer to this part of your schedule as the Orange Crush?
I don't think I ever heard of it as the Orange Crush, but I can get where you're going with it.
Yeah.
I could get where you're going with it. A lot of orange. You know, we don't like orange, but but no, I never heard of the Orange Crush. But now that you say it,
What about the opportunity, week to week here, obviously, but, for you guys to distinguish yourselves against a tough road game and then 2 pretty good teams in theory?
like Coach said in our team meeting, they remember November. So what we do in November is what they remember about this South Carolina football team. So like you said, with this Orange Crush deal, going on the road to the swamp, it's a very hostile environment. But we can't let an environment change and dictate the way we play. So going down there, I mean, we just got to play South Carolina ball, and I know our fans are going to be there with us as well. So that, and then after that, you come back home, night game against Tennessee, great team, a very explosive team, and then after that, hostile environment in Clemson. But other than that, taking it week by week and just got to go play to our potential and know the best we can play.
Darius, obviously you've been on punt coverage with Kai, I guess most of this year. I guess what's that kind of been like, and what's he kind of brought to the table in his spot as well?
I would say Kai, he's got an elite foot, man. Just being able to flip the field like he does, and me doing my part to help that. So with his punch and the way he can just put him inside the 10, and I can just go down there and help him and down it, it gives the defense an opportunity to just go down, keep them down there, make them punt it. And with our return game, we got Josh Van back there who's great at returning punts. So he can get that field position just a little bit closer to the end zone for our offense to help them score. So with Kai having the foot that he has and me going down there and helping him, whether that's making a tackle or down the punts, it just helps all 3 phases, special teams, defense, and offense.
You guys got a lot of quarterbacks on this roster, but where's Kai fall in the pecking order?
He's perfect right now, man. So he's up there. But I'll say for the most part, Kai, man, he's 100%.
Hey, Darius, we saw things get kind of chippy on the field Saturday. I know Cam Smith was involved in one play. Did you see any of that? And what does that kind of do for you as a team when you're playing on the road and things are kind of getting physical on the field?
Same thing it was against Texas A&M. It's just emotion. A lot of emotion going with that place that Cam got involved in. I mean, it was more of a emotional thing for him. He got hit. He felt like it was in a disrespectful way and handled it the way that he did. We wish we could have got in there earlier to stop it. I mean, it happened, but it's just emotion. High emotion throughout the games, and it just, like I said about Texas A&M, it's just guys out there competing, whether it's emotion, protecting your teammates, but it all comes down to being disciplined, being a disciplined football team. Some of the penalties that we had, we could have eliminated from a personal foul standpoint, and that's one thing we do pride ourselves on is playing smart football. So those incidents and back and forth that we usually get into, it's just about being disciplined and keeping your composure.
Hey, Darius, for the second straight week, there were a number of missed tackles. I know last week Coach Beamer said something about maybe hitting a little more in practice than normal. How is that being addressed this week?
That's being addressed by basically going out there and taking our drills and being much more technical sound with those drills. So whether that's having a proper angle, fitting up the right gaps, things like that. So tackling wise, I mean, you're gonna have missed tackles. It's a part of the game, but missing too many like the way we did, it shows on the field with giving up a lot of rushing yards. So how we emphasize it now, whether that's from strength guy to coach to player, we emphasize getting your chest on guys every chance you get, just to get that feeling of, okay, I'll make this in the game. So that's one thing that we're emphasizing this week, especially in practice, just fitting up guys and wrapping up, so we can eliminate the missed tackles.
Darius, a couple for you. You went to C.E. Murray in Greeleyville. Were you from Greeleyville or Kingstree?
I'm from Kingstree. I went to school in Greeleyville. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
You were coming out as kind of an athlete. You enrolled here as a receiver. Just what did you, I guess, expect coming into college, after playing a lot of positions in high school? Did you expect to stick at receiver? Did you know that moving to DB would be a possibility?
Honestly, no. I never really thought about moving to DB. Crazy thing about that, when I first switched over, I called my brother and told him that that's what we're doing, switching to DB. First thing he tells me, finally, man, I always wanted you to play DB, but you always wanted to play receiver, so we just did receiver thing. So my brother was for it, being a DB. And it's working out right now. And at that point, that was just to help the team, honestly. And I contribute on special teams as well. So at that point, switching over and then embracing this role, it was just really to help out the team in the best way I can.
And what's your brother's name? Did he play at all?
No, sir, but he did attend University of South Carolina, got his undergrad here, and got his MBA at Stanford. Marcus Rush.
Darius, who's pretending to be Richardson on scout team this week?
Who we got? So many quarterbacks. We got like three of them rotating back
trying
there.
To just mimic every.
I mean, we got Mega Blake, who also played quarterback, South Point. We got Tanner taking reps. It's more of a development purposes for those guys. We don't try to specify, this guy's this guy of the week. Maybe at receiver we might do something like that, but it's for development purposes, and that's what we pride ourselves on. Whether it's scout team, it's just rotating quarterbacks, letting them get those kind of reps, just to develop them still.
And when you guys were banged up in the secondary earlier in the season, Coach Beamer talked about some miscommunication on the back end. Where do you feel like that communication is now, especially with so many guys trying to rotate in and out?
It's improving. It improves from week to week, whether it's some miscommunication might be amongst me and a freshman versus me and an older guy. At the end of the day, it was still miscommunication amongst, no matter whether a guy played 3-4 years versus a guy who just playing this year. It's just about knowing your assignments and knowing what to do in certain situations. So from us, in a communication standpoint, amongst me and DQ and Nick, those freshman guys, I understand, like, this is their first year really playing college. It's a lot more communication. So I have to take that amongst myself to help them out in the process. I can't really put it on those guys to get the communication. Because it's a team defense. Everybody's communicating, everybody's talking. So from a communication standpoint, that's what we emphasize in practice as well, just talking, because a talking secondary is a great secondary. And that's one thing I'll say we improved each week on, was communicating a little bit more.
Hey, Darius, you guys have won back-to-back games on the road, and you kind of mentioned earlier, Swamp is a tough environment. How do you guys keep the momentum going, and then how do you guys stay in your own element and stay with the game plan?
I'll say in that emphasis, it's us versus us. I mean, we take it each week as a nameless, faceless opponent. I mean, no matter where you're playing, no matter what time, at the end of the day, a game still has to be played. So for us to just go in there and not beat ourselves, you stand a chance, whether that's from penalty standpoint, stopping the run, running the ball, creating explosive plays, winning a turnover battle, playing smart football, and dominating like the fourth quarter. So if we go and do those things and not beat ourselves, it doesn't matter who you're playing. As long as you can just go in there and execute with great detail, alignments, and doing good on your assignments. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.